How you doing? Robert Marzullo here, and I'm going to show you how to do some inking techniques. You see I'm working on a page here from the Blackstone comic, and let's see, let me get as much stuff out of the way so I can show you exactly what I'm doing here. Here's one panel that I've already applied the inks to. I'll take those on and off to show you the difference, if I can find the layer, right there. Okay, so I converted my pencil drawing. Now this is one, I'm more digital now than anything, but this is one that I had previously penciled, and that's the inks over top. So you see the slight variation. I mean, it's pretty much the same artwork, and then if I remove the pencils, it doesn't change that much. And I try to, that's what I strive for. I really, I'm not much of an inker. I'm more into doing pencils, but I don't try to add a whole lot when I'm making. I'm pretty much just tracing it. So here's which let me clarify, inking is not tracing. I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, since I'm not a very artistic inker, I just kind of look at it like applying black the same way that I would draw the pencil line. So that's all I'm getting at. But I'll show you a few techniques. I try to put a lot of cross-hatching in my stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do this panel right here for you. I have a technique where I'll do each layer is a separate, or each panel is a separate layer. So 1, 2, 3, this is what I would consider panel 3. So I'll go into here, create a layer, panel 3, oops, panel 3 inks, and that way I got a little bit more freedom to do my thing in here. So, and I'll even do my borders separately. So, and I don't have any particular settings, and Manga I just used I believe the G pen or the Maro pen, one of them, but let's see if I can find the here. The Maro. And the settings it comes with are fantastic. Even the newer Manga Studio, I use that one too, but this book I started when I had the older one, which was 4EX or something like that. Yeah. And so I continue to use this one. So first off, I'll just go through here and lay some of my thicker lines. So I start with the eye here. And it's all about the pressure sensitivity. More pressure, thicker line. Lighten it up as I come to the end of the line for the points, and then just kind of feather the lines. That's all I really do for parts like that. Then yeah, if there needs to be a heavier shadow, I just keep going back over those areas and thicken up the lines. Kind of spot your blacks, and again, I don't do as much as maybe a standard inker would do to say, oh, to look at the artwork and go, wow, I could really bring this out by changing this. I just kind of go over right about where I was drawing. I mean, if there is something I can change in there and it works, so be it. I just don't, I've seen some artwork where you get it back from the inker. I've never worked with a professional inker, but you get it back, or I'm sorry, I have. I take that back, but not a lot of them where I've experienced this. But you get it back from certain inkers, and you know they've totally revamped your artwork. Which I'm all for as long as it's for the better. Which that's going to be a matter of opinion and perspective. But some people are pretty unpleased when they get their stuff back. So good thing about this software, and a lot of them, you can kind of fill in areas like that and just do like a bucket fill. Sometimes what looks cool too, though, if you got a lot of line work going on, encompass it with a nice thicker line like this, and then come back in and feather some thinner lines in like this. And let's see how this looks, because I really didn't plan on doing that. I kind of seen that in the strokes there of the pencil lines, so it made me think of it. Yeah, I don't think I mind that, but we'll see after we get the rest of it filled in if it works. So if not, we'll just fill it in, so no big deal. And then here what I'm doing is I'm feathering these lines. This is the part I wanted to explain because I did a drawing one. You can look on my YouTube channel for my other videos, and um, I was feathering lines and trying to explain that. And I'm not sure if everybody's grasping what I mean by feathering. And maybe I'm not explaining it properly. I don't know, but feathering is when you pull the line multiple times and make it go thick to thin. And you can do that with anything. I can do that with a rapidograph. I can do that with a you know, obviously a brush is real easy, you know, and a crow quill will give you a little bit of that, but even a crow quill is only going to go so far, and you have to, you know, either really bear down on it and go through a bunch of nibs, which yeah, I've never been able to master those. I'd rather just kind of feather it with other pens, but I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm just saying you can get some pretty decent results even that way. And possibly a good case of carpal tunnel, because I probably have to go over my lines a lot more than somebody else that has really good brush skills. But I'll recommend like a brush for, you know, like hair, drawn hair. There's no substitute for a brush in my opinion. That's just so easy to do and so free flowing with the brush. It's insane. So, you know, what I'm doing here is I'm focusing on feathering the lines, but changing them up also. Different thicknesses, different variations, you know, maybe a little curved line through here. Um, that way there's a little bit of separation there. It's not just so boring as, you know, I could take this whole area and just do one series of straight lines, and that would convey the message and on to the next piece. But it would be more boring, and it wouldn't have, I'm trying to kind of show, like if you see in here, like this is almost signifying a little bit of aging or something. And you know, if this book was going to color, which you know it's probably not, but this would all be able to be colored and shaded by the color artist and really brought out to look even cooler if they wanted, you know. So that's the point of that, like just giving those little details and making the artwork look a little bit more uh, intense, you know, and then remembering to thicken thin the lines. You know, like here we're going to have some wrinkles. I'll pull these lines through here. And see, and I kind of left a little highlight through here, but I don't like that now looking back. I'm gonna kind of fill that in. So I'm gonna change the spot right here, just because there's no possible way there would be a highlight right there on that far up on the eye. I mean, in all honesty, this whole eye would probably be in shadow, but um, since I didn't draw it that way, I'm gonna treat it like if I was working on somebody else's artwork and I would only do minimal changes. I wouldn't totally revamp their stuff. So as a sign of respect from one artist to another, I wouldn't do that. But okay, so in a few little lines there, you can always go back and spot in some more black, and then you know, fill in the black over here. That. Yeah, and this software is awesome, by the way. I mean, these thick to thin lines are just easy to pull off, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's any substitute for traditional mediums, but hey, there's no cleanup here, and I'm a big fan of that, because my art, you know, my art room right now is a total wreck. So, and my girlfriend would vouch for that. So I'm not against, you know, anything that's easy cleanup and easy to put away. So just little things like that. I mean, you see I got a lot of these little lines going everywhere. Thick to thin pulls, thick to thin pulls. I mean, that's really it. I mean, you know, and I don't have a really advanced style yet, or maybe I never will. I don't know. I think it's pretty basic, but you know, that's all I really do to get those lines, you know, and then you know, different styles like this right here, you know, fill in some black, carry it off to a flatter edge, and then have those lines carry off the same shape as that and then break apart. To me, that's a more natural way to end a line if you're trying to do facial uh, features and wrinkles and things like that. Because if you just have a bunch of pointed lines ending off, it doesn't look natural to me. There's going to be some kind of little shading in there. So you just kind of bring these little points off the end of it. I think that gives it a little bit more of a nicer look. And, you know, that's just an opinion. Take it for what you will. But I think that looks a little bit nicer when you come in and do those little details like that. And then you have to think, okay, the eye is probably, you know, it's coming from back here underneath this overlap and then coming out at the camera. So maybe some thin lines that break apart like that, showing, you know, the viewer that recesses back in space a little bit. So let's keep going with this. Alright, now this one for instance. We'll do thick to thin that way and that way. So you just basically keep pulling from the middle out in each direction. So you get that. Now, I think that works well for areas where you're trying to show more roundedness, like at the, obviously the front of the eye here where I'm trying to show that's the more outward rounded area of it. But then also like say a bicep or top of this guy's head or whatever. And just so you know, this is a close-up of Lord Temperance's eye that is trying to, make a point to Krim here. Krim's the bounty hunter that's hired to go after Blackstone. And Blackstone's a comic I'm working on. Time for the shameless plug, everybody. Please be sure to check it out and let me know what you think and help support it on DeviantArt and YouTube here. And I'm trying to get everything together and produce this book and pretty much doing it on my own. So any and all support is greatly appreciated. So this is a close-up of his eyes. He's trying to explain to Krim, hey, don't underestimate this Blackstone character. He's beaten probably better men than you or whatever. I've sent plenty of people after him. None have came back alive, yada yada. And, Krim's over there. That's why he's leaned over in this next scene, kind of holding his claws out like, yeah, we'll see about that. I'm nothing like you've ever seen before. And he's basically getting ready to go after Blackstone and see if he can succeed where others have failed, bringing him back to Lord Temperance, who wants him for his own set of reasons. So that's what this page is about, and this is all from book 1, which is pretty much completely done now and ready to go to print. So I'm just filling in the last few touch-ups and word balloons and putting that baby to rest. So pretty excited about that. Okay, so now back to the inking. Thanks for listening to my little commercial there. So yeah, see if I'm just, and everything's about perception of the shading here. So cross-hatching right here to get it darker in that spot, and then break those lines off shorter and smaller to leave the highlight here. I'll leave just a stronger highlight on the other side of the eye. And then this is supposed to represent kind of a glare, but I also shadowed it, so like that, and then I'll just faintly do the line back here, so almost like the glare is overpowering the eye. And again, if this was color, that could really be brought out nicely with some color. But since it's black and white, I'll just end up overdoing a bunch of little lines to show more texture. You can go a little bit more crazy with your texture lines in black and white comics, I think. Little veins in the eye. You didn't get enough sleep last night. Looks like me from being up all night drawing comic books. Okay, then more texturing down here. Alright, and then the longer sweeping lines. And the other thing, if you notice, I'm trying to make these different sizes, different thicknesses, even the way they cross a little bit different here and there, just to give it more to look at for the viewer. So then like this one here, this is also another little highlight line. Okay, and then now the cheekbone. So we'll put a little bit of black in here. That. And then break off into lines. And then at first have them tighter together, thick to thin. Start breaking them apart. Or giving more, width in between each next line. Same thing here. Cross-hatching them tighter together. And start to break them apart. And then what I'll do back here is another third set of lines, just real thin. Just to kind of bring that shadow out a little bit more. Okay. And here, it's not here, but I'm kind of seeing it. I'm going to put a thicker line, little highlight gap like that, and then I'm going to start running my lines. And the reason being, it gives that more of a pointed edge, so maybe he's got more of a overly defined cheekbone or something, but it just changes the look of it. Like if I would have just started with these lines without this small gap, it would have looked a little bit more naturally rounded over. But he's kind of a monstrous guy, like a, real villainous type, morbid looking, So I think I want more sharper angles on him, to look more gruesome. You always notice like the villains always have a more pointed nose or, longer chin and pointed cheekbones. So it's just one of those things that helps register, to the in the storytelling process. Like, oh man, that's the bad guy. Look at him. You know, he's mean. He's ugly. He's weird looking. And more lines, more lines. And I kind of go line crazy on some of my stuff, but hey, it's my comic book. I'm doing this in the hope that it launches. It's not, a big thing yet. So I'm going to have fun with it at least, I'm going to put down what I think looks cool. I don't even know why there's lines right there. I just thought, I don't know, maybe some lines right there. So you do whatever feels right to you and just have fun with it. It's gonna do well, it's gonna do well, regardless. I don't think it's gonna kill it if somebody looks at it and goes, man, that guy put way too many lines right there, And I look at it like this, I would rather put more down and then back some away, especially digital. I guess that's the really cool thing about digital now. I look at it like that because that's why I save these all as separate layers. If I want to edit something and back some lines out or erase some lines, it doesn't kill me. Where before, when I was doing it out of pen and ink, I had to pull out the the whiteout pen, sometimes brush it on, and man, I just hated that. For one, I hated what it did to my originals, and which no, I have no originals. I mean, I still draw some on the side, um, but the ability to edit is just phenomenal. So I would just focus on that when you're doing your digital. And you can mix it up a bit too. You don't have to totally digitally draw. I pretty much do now. Um, I'm fortunate I was able to get a Cintiq, which is a great drawing tool. But keep in mind, I still did a lot of my starting work, some great work that I feel decent work um, on a Wacom Intuos 4. So don't think that you just gotta have the big dog or whatever. I worked up to it, and I made money with my other art, and I was able to, invest that. So take your time. Don't feel like it's not the tool, it's the artist. So I've seen guys that do amazing work with the Intuos 4, and they don't even have the urge to switch. So but yeah, when I switched to that, I did go mainly all digital because, well, A, I spent a lot of money on this thing. I want to utilize it. B, it's fun to use, and it is a time saver for me. So I was able to produce the book a lot faster than penciling all the pages. So all right, and then here a bunch of little fine lines to show what an eye might look like, or we could actually go crazy here because he's an alien, so he could have an alien eye. Could have won a lot more different shape with this, but I think I want a lot of the characters in this book to have a humanoid feel because I want to deal with a lot of human emotions in the storyline. Um, Blackstone himself, he's a byproduct of another uh, instance. I won't specify too much, but he's not really part of the natural order of life, and because of that, he doesn't hold any love for, the natural order of things, and that quickly shows in his demeanor and his character and what he's done to other people. And then when he bumps into this alien, which you'll see in the first book, uh, and it becomes part of him, it starts forcing him to be this hero that he never wanted to become. So, that's a big human, emotion of, the monkey on the back, the conscience, the, you know, why should I do the right thing? You know in your heart why it's good to do the right thing, but then, sometimes there's other things keeping you from doing the wrong thing, and some people don't have the same conscience that we do, or the same, perspective on the world to just go out and do good, and that's what he's about. So, and over time, he'll learn why it's better to be the hero and to be, do the right thing, and there'll be a lot of good motivation and ideas in there for that, but this guy wants him because he's wronged him. He's done something to him that's atrocious and unforgivable. So that's why he's got this bounty hunter that he's sending after him. So be sure to check out the book and let me know what you think. And I don't know how I'm going to get it out to everybody. I'm going to do my best, but I'll end up printing it and probably promoting it on YouTube, on DeviantArt, um, and then I don't know. Hopefully it'll get picked up by something, but we'll just push it and see what we can get. So, all right. So I was just gonna explain this one panel. It's gonna take me a while to ink this whole page, so I think it'd be too long of a video. So there's that. It gives you an idea of how I go about doing this. And like I said, layers is the best thing, especially when inking, because I can sit here now and add like a new layer, and say start filling in the borders, and then I just got more freedom, so I can sit here, especially because I like to scribble some of these borders in. See, I'm scribbling this sucker in, and something looks cool or it doesn't. I get that option. I can edit it, or I can just keep going with it. So that freedom, there's a lot to be said for that. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope this explains a little bit about the process, and at least what I do. And if you have any questions, be sure to drop in a comment, and also like and subscribe the videos so I can keep doing this, and I'll keep trying to improve the content for you and bring out more stuff, and things that I think might help a young artist grow, and things that I faced when trying to get as far as I am today. So let me know what you think, and check us out on DeviantArt 2 under Ram Studios 1. And this is Robert Marzullo signing off, and please check out Blackstone. Thanks very much. Have a great day.